Hello, hello, and welcome to my universe. So, I'm about done here, actually. With the character, I should say. The background still needs some work, but yeah, it's getting there. Just a couple more things here and there, and I still think most things are looking pretty good. My biggest complaint right now is actually with her eyes. For whatever reason. Like I think they look fine, right? I don't think they look terrible or anything. But when I look at the eyes I drew versus the eyes on her model, they feel a little bit wrong. So I think I'm actually going to redraw them. Just like, probably almost entirely. I think the irises are fine. It's mostly just the eyelashes. So that's the first thing I want to do. And I think saying that I'm going to redraw them is maybe overstating it. But nonetheless, I will be fixing those eyelashes. I'm looking at the kind of curve that we got here. And it flattens out a lot through there. Not completely. Hello there, Tito. Welcome back. So, I just want to try again, more or less. I think the eyes are worth being particular on. And like I said, it just does not currently give quite the right impression. So, I am just going to try again. And these things happen. And I can just redraw all the spikes on them and stuff. It's not that bad. So I'll be looking back and forth between this and a picture of the model that I have off stream here. Just to kind of ensure that I get things looking the way I want. Oh, why do I have my airbrush? There we go. Okay, so they're very round. So this part, I think, should be a little steeper. So let's bring that down. I'm just going to start with one side and see if I like it, and then I'll transfer it to the other if I do. And I'll go from there. So I just want to get them... I'm not quite sure how to describe her eyes, if I'm being honest. But when I look at them, they look really, really sharp. Like, I am surprised every time I look at them. She seriously does look like she's plotting against you. Which is weird, because I don't really get that impression when I watch her, but those eyes, they really do seem like they're thinking something. And that is the best way I can describe it. It's kind of funny to think about. Okay, but I think this is already doing it a little bit better. Let's try to flatten the corner just a little bit here and make the rest a little bit more slanted. Just a little bit more slanted. Then I'll see if I can finish off the rest here today. I think the order I'm going to do things in. Yeah, I need to get her hand and then the rest of her body, but then I want to get the hair. I want to try to get that hair done as soon as I can. I was even thinking about doing it before the body. But no, some of it does overlap with the body, so I should get the rest of her dress done first. Just so I have a good idea of places I don't really have to care about. Okay. Let's see, does that look a little bit more like her if I give her hair back? Let's take a look. I think so. Okay, there we go. So I think I fixed the issue. Let me get the other side. So I'll just do the same thing where this side goes down a lot more. And then I curve a lot of it and flatten off the corner just a bit more. It's not a big difference. But I do think it gives a more correct impression. And that kind of thing is important when you're drawing the anime girls, because their faces are kind of on the flat end, often devoid of detail, with noses that all look about the same. So I feel like you get a lot of their particular impressions from the shape of their eyes and the shape of their hair, which is always why I'm so particular about them. I feel like if you don't get those right, it just won't look like them. And I think it's also why, if you ever draw an anime girl with kind of teal-colored hair, especially if there's twin tails involved, everyone's gonna think she's Miku, no matter what she's wearing, what any of her other features look like, or anything. I wonder why if that's why I've been seeing less anime characters with kind of teal-colored hair. You know, I never really thought about it, but there might be something to that. Okay, so we slant it upward a bit. And then it gets real flat over in the corner. Come down here. Slant it upward a bit. And then get it real flat over in the corner. There we go. Okay. So I'll start here, and we'll see where that goes. And meanwhile, I have completed my goal of finishing 2 images this week and posting shorts about them. I uploaded the second short for this week just before starting stream, probably about an hour before, actually. So that is up there. And if you want to help me out, I'd appreciate if you go take a look. I like this one. I just got the urge to draw fireworks, so I did. I like fireworks, they're pretty, and it gives me an excuse to use lots of neon colors and let it make sense. I do enjoy some bright colors. Okay, there we go. That should do it. Especially since that eye is, like, so thoroughly hidden behind everything. This eyelash feels a little bit thin now, though. Okay, let's thicken it just a touch. But otherwise, I think it's looking pretty good. Otherwise, I do think it looks quite good. Okay, there we go. Hair back on. Okay, and I think I'm ready for some eyelash spikes again. I'll just go put them back. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all of the shading that I had on the upper part of the eyelash for now. I'll put it back once the eyelashes are all back in place. And I'd like to start with drawing them with nothing covering the eyes. It kind of helps me get things started. But I won't make it pretty until all of the layers are back on. That way I don't just spend a really long time working on something that's just going to end up covered up. I used to do that a lot, and I always thought it was really sad. It's like, man, I spent like an hour trying to get that right, and it's just going to be covered by this thing. That's silly. Let's not do that. But this way they're at least in place, and admittedly I am getting better at kind of getting everything in a stroke or two, so I guess they're ending up a little bit smoother anyway. That's alright. As long as I'm not spending a lot of time. Okay, that should be good. Okay, how are we looking? So far, so good. And yeah, I actually already think that they're mostly looking pretty alright. I think I'll add a little guy right there. Just a little. But the rest I think look fine. So I'll go in and add my highlights again. And this should get everything back to the way it was. Just hopefully looking a little bit more like Leia now. I'll put just a little guy there, and maybe just a little guy right here, since that's where I think the light is hitting the strongest, and all that I'll just keep in shadow. I think that is fine, and I think I can actually keep most of this in shadow. I'll just add a couple of little lights here and there. Keep things a little interesting. Okay. Does that feel more like her? Man, I swear, the eyes on her model are just so sharp. Mine still look a little soft, but I think it's okay. Let me zoom in a little. It does look more like her. And I think the width of all of the things are fine. Man. Anime eyes are wild. Something still feels off. No, that looks even cuter. It's like I just noticed that her eyes were bigger than what I did. So it's possible that I just need to have them like up here, but, you know, longer. I'm covering one of them. Just so I can get an idea on whether that's better, but you know what? I think this is fine. I think it's fine. Anyway, I do have one minor thing I want to fix, though, and I just kind of want to adjust the corner of her mouth a little bit. Bring it in just a bit. Just a teeny tiny bit. There we go. That's a nicer little smile. Okay, are her lips attached? No. That's probably important, so I guess I'll go ahead and fix it. There we go. Okay. And let's see, if I go to 100%, are you blurry? A little blurry. Not... Basically, if this wasn't her face, I probably wouldn't bother to fix that, but it is, so I will. Like, if this was her arm or something, I wouldn't make it a little bit less blurry. But it's her mouth. And that's gotta be totally solid. So I'll just touch it up a little. Shouldn't take too long at all. And then I think it's time to draw a hand. The other hand. I think this one still looks alright. So I'll hide the curtains, and we just gotta get this guy. Where are her wings? I want to turn them off for a second. Always a good question when I have this many layers. Okay. Yeah, let's get that hand. I think I'm also gonna hide the balcony for a second. I think the shape is alright. Like, I need to make the fingers less pointy and stuff, but I think the general shape is okay, so I think I can just smooth it. Although, actually, maybe I should do the frills first. Yeah, I think I should. Okay. Let's do that. So, only reason that I'm going in and doing those first is that they're sitting on top of the hand. So once I get them right, I know which areas I can largely ignore. So, you know, Same reason as always. But I do find it very convenient to work this way. Makes life very simple. Very, very simple. All right, and I see that there's a little tiny corner peeking out there, and that's not what I want. I do want it to go out and around like that. I think that looks pretty good, but it should be firmly inside her sleeve. No clipping. do not want clipping in the outfits here. Okay, so I think that's fine. And this should be fairly straightforward, just because this is all going to be underneath the curtain in the foreground. So while I do need it there and I do need it to look pretty alright, it's going to be one of those things that's just barely visible. Oh, what are you? Okay, you're not from here, so that's fine. I'll worry about it later. You just noticed a little bit of residue over there. But I just hid the entire Leia group, and it was still there, so it's not from her. So I will worry about cleaning that up later. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to give the impression that her fingers are just kind of gently resting on the railing here. So I will kind of move her fingers in that direction. At least when I do that kind of pose, I get a bump on the second finger joint. At least the way I see it, fingers have 3 joints. You got the one kind of at the base of the hand where your knuckles are, the second kind of little less than halfway through, and then the one at the fingertip. And most of the time, I don't draw the one at the fingertip. When I am drawing anime girls, I don't think it's super necessary. I think they still look pretty okay. I think they still look pretty okay when there's only one, and it simplifies drawing them a lot. That's one thing I kind of like about illustration versus something more realistic. I don't really know what you call realist painting when it's digital. Do you still call it realist painting? I don't know, man. But when I was trying for harder realism, getting things accurate was really, really important, because otherwise you get into the uncanny valley and it feels really wrong and weird, and it'll just feel wrong and bad. But when it's not realistic like this, you don't have to worry about that quite as much, and you can focus on expressing what you want to express instead. Focus on being cool or cute or energetic or whatever else. And I like that. I like that. I think it's more interesting. Because then you can just feel that illustration in your bones, and it is great. I think I made her fingers a little too long, so I'm gonna kind of adjust that a little. Yeah, we see a little bit of the back of her hand here. Just a little bit. Most of it's under the sleeve. But yeah, I kind of like just being able to focus on, whenever I draw the picture, what should the person feel? And how can I bring that out as much as possible? I've seen some traditional painters outside of anime spheres and stuff, like a certain watercolor artists and stuff like that, that seem to have a similar thing, but they take more real-life scenes. I hesitate to call it impressionism, even though that's basically what it is, just because it gives... That kind of has certain connotations on, like, the Monet and Van Gogh adjacent stuff, but I don't think that their styles necessarily look like that. But it's still kind of how I feel about it, where they just try to get the impression of the thing. So that's why I'm just like, what the heck do I call this? in a way that could actually be understood. Because I do think impressionism is still the correct term, but I'm not entirely sure. You can tell that I don't hang in fine art circles. I don't know. I'd kind of like to learn more about that stuff. I went through a dive through art history when I was kind of in a little bit of a slump. Oh, was it last year or the year before? And it was really interesting seeing how people that are really interested in fine art talk about it. It was really cool. And some of the stuff out there is really neat. And just what people used to do and how art used to be approached and all that. And it's kind of where I realized that, yes, basically every artist is probably a little bit insane, if they're any good at what they do. Because it does seem like the best ones have been, throughout history, have been kind of hard to work with. But they were really good, so they were tolerated. But I think if I do more diving into that, it's probably going to be the super ancient history. Like ancient Egyptian art, or, what I can find out about the Incas. Because I really like their stuff. Or, maybe some traditional Indonesian stuff, because I think their art is pretty cool too. Has that kind of dot-like mosaic quality. Or at least that's one style of it. I like that one. I think it's pretty cool. People have had lots of great ideas. And there we go. I think that's probably fine for this hand. I'm gonna go turn my layers back on. I'm even gonna turn the curtains back on for now. I'll see if I need to hide them, but I don't think I do. And yeah, I think that hand looks great through here. And once I put some shadows on this balcony, I think it'll be perfectly visible. It is serving its purpose. All right, let's get the rest of her dress. Where did I put that? I'm gonna collapse the head. I don't want to have to scroll through this many layers. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna hide all of the belts and stuff. And I'm gonna focus on getting this belt good. Let's see. I might take that in that side a little bit. It's making her butt look a little big. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty alright. Let's get that just a little bit straighter here. And it's fine if I get a little bit of my body layer kind of peeking around. I'll get rid of it. I think I can trust what I made here. Yeah, it all seems fine to me. So most of the time I work from whatever is further in the foreground to whatever is further in the background. I like to do that as much as I can. But I'm doing the bag after I do this, just to make sure that I can actually trust what I drew here. Because I need the bag to wrap around. So I may not smooth out the entire thing, but I'd like to at least be fully confident that what I have here is correct. So I'm gonna smooth out some of the edges. I probably won't worry about the inside, like, at all. But I do want to make sure that I am very confident on where the outside is going to be going. Because otherwise I won't be able to make that bag wrap around her body properly. So that's the hope there. Okay, so I'm gonna have it a little bit coming out, just a little bit, because I want to make the is that a belt or just cinching? I'm not sure, but regardless, it must look tight. And having things come out a little bit like this does make it look tighter. I am not actually sure what this is supposed to be. What is that? Is that... It looks like it's behind. I mean, I do see that there's a little corner of the underdress layer that's sticking out, but what are you? I already had the wings layer off. Okay, it's a piece of the balcony. I see, I see. If I hide Leia... Okay. That does not look good. I know I don't have all of these in their permanent places, but that looks quite bad. So what's happening here is that the location of the columns through here are going over her in such a way that it looks awkward. What can I say other than it looks really awkward? Why is it really awkward? It's overlapping, like, right at the edge of her dress there. And it's also really unclear on what this is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoot everything over just a touch. So now it's way more clear what this is. And it looks like the columns and the railing continue. And then all I have to do is grab this guy and just kind of have this one kind of hanging off the edge a little. I'll probably have to fix their spacing a bit, but oh man, this is fine for now. But yeah, I did not like where that was. This is 100 times better. It's a small thing, but let me show you a before and after. So that's what it was before. And this is what it is after. So it's immediately more clear that this is a column behind her and that the railing does go all the way around. I don't particularly feel like we have to emphasize this area between her arm at all, and this having the similar colors near each other will even mute it a little bit, and I think that's good. So, yes, it's much better. Now then, let's go back to the dress. So I do want this part to stick out just a little. Not a lot, just a little. Let's see, I think I can turn that just a little bit more. There we go. And I think I'll make it an anime dress, in that I think in a normal dress you'd probably get some folds around there. But I think I'd rather just keep it smooth. I probably will have some folds, you know, coming down here. Somewhat. Maybe. We'll see how I feel about it. I don't know, it looked pretty good smooth, though. Let me see. You know what? I kind of want to figure it out now. Do I like it doing that? Just having the folds be a little bit bulkier? Because this is kind of what would happen in real life. Where there'd be a bunch of folds kind of all congregating around the middle, but... Because the other option is to do the folds... we have the ones up there, and then these ones would be a little bit more like this. Or possibly even just leaving it. And, you know, just let it be anime. It doesn't have to make sense, it's fine. Unironically, I do think it looks the best. Just like that. Okay, I'll leave it like that. And all that should be fine. And then we'll just get a little bit more shadow from here. And over here. With that gone, maybe it does make more sense to have just a few little folds like this. I do like drawing clothes, so I studied how to do folds a pretty long time ago. But I've been adapting it a lot more lately, just because, again, when it comes to more illustrative techniques, it's not really about what's accurate. It's about what feels right and what conveys what you want to convey. So I've been trying to get away from a lot of the super realistic, this is how it works in real life. I've been trying to get away from it somewhat. I still reference it sometimes, of course, because how else are you going to make a thing look like a thing? But that kind of thing is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. And yeah, I think that works. I probably didn't need to figure that out right now, but, you know, there's no harm in doing so. And then I have a dark color. That might look nice, actually. I just put a little bit at the bottom here. Oh yeah, that does look pretty nice. I like it. Oh, I don't have the layer locked. I should lock it. That does look pretty nice. I like it. Okay, now she looks nice and squishy. So I think this is sufficient for now. Well, it's probably sufficient, but you know what? I want to fix the folds on the dress just while I'm here. Because I see where I was going with this, but I think I can do it better. So I wanted to make this one look like it was kind of flipping upward. Just have a little bit of flippiness to it. This way it looks like it's blowing in the wind a little. And like it's being held very firmly by the bag on her waist there. So I'll have like one of the belts from that on there. Yeah, so you can see I do have it drawn in the right place there. I'll send it a little bit higher. And then it's just kind of flipping upward. That might honestly be too strong for the type of wind that I'm picturing in this situation, though. Yeah, I don't want it to be quite that strong. It's a gentle wind. Very gentle. So I want it to flip somewhat, but not, like, super hard. Okay, this is why I'm solving this now. let's make sure that I am actually expressing what I want to express here. Just everything is gentle. Everything is soft. Okay. And while this is a thick cloth, like I said, I kinda want to emphasize the gentleness. So I'm actually going to simplify these folds a lot. Like a lot. And I'm gonna make them less pointy as well. I think that'll make the cloth look a little thicker. So, something like that? I don't know. I still don't know if I like it. Because everything just feels very samey. I'm gonna try again. I don't like it. I'm also taking a look at what the original artist did on her model. To kind of see if I can replicate that. Let's see. I mean, obviously I can't, because I don't use the same kind of very smooth style, at least not here. But I can get similar shapes in there. Oh, I don't have the layer locked? I thought I locked it again. I must have hit Control-Z one too many times. Yeah, that sounds like something I do. I tend to just spam the button until I get back to where I think is accurate, so yeah, that seems likely. I kind of want to do some artist studies at some point with just a couple of art styles that I think are really cool. Let me study further stylization a little bit more. I think that could be really interesting. I'm not sure if I want to do it on stream or off stream. I'll probably record myself and, you know, maybe even put out a video rather than just a time lapse. I'll see what I think. I don't know, how do I feel about this? I guess it's fine. Okay, I'll go with that. Let's go ahead and draw the bag. So I think currently everything is in the wrong spot. So what I'm gonna do is take the color, but kill everything else. All right. So let's see, where does this bag go? It's like right on the other side of her hip here. And it's... So if this is here... we have one belt of right about... That's connecting right about here. So it'll be about here, I think. And we have another one kind of coming around her side. Where exactly does that connect? Okay. Right about here, I think. It's going to wrap around her. Come down here like that. That angle feels mostly correct to me. So that means the bag is a little bit shorter than I think it should be, because this one kind of connects to the top. I actually think that maybe I have this going a little bit too steep. I'm going to try one more time. Yeah, I was looking at the distance between the top of this. So yes, I think that is correct now. And we're mostly seeing the side of the bag here, just due to the angle that she's standing at. So I don't... I think we see the side and maybe a little bit of the bottom, but the bottom is covered by her arm. Okay. So this is just a small thing, so I'm not going to make a bunch of separate layers for it, but she's going to have some stuff in the bag. And this will kind of help me see what I'm doing, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in real quick. And a couple of little tubes here. Okay. So there we go. I got the first belt. The second belt combines right around here. And we'll wrap up around her side. There we go. And I think I have the thickness about right. And the other one is like right up next to the pink thing. Oh, and this is way longer. Is this a separate color? All the other sheets have had swatches. No, I think they're all the same color. Okay. But here I should give a slight impression of an underdress. Okay. I am going to do that real quick before I forget, because that sounds like something that I would do. And this also means that over here, I think I would actually like to move this part over. Okay. And then to give that slight impression that there's another layer underneath here, I'm going to take the really dark color. And do that. And then through here, I'll let this one flip a little bit less. And we'll just have that second layer right there. I think that'll show it well. Okay, and that should look good once I clean it up. Okay, you are a little bit long now. But there we go. Okay, I think that looks all right. So let's pick a shadow color for this, because I don't think I have one, because this is not the same gold, or at least it shouldn't be. You're not, right? Okay, good. They're actually dang close. Holy cow. I'm surprised. Did I pick a bad color for the gold parts then? You know, maybe I did. Oh, now I'm concerned. No, I think it looks okay. I just went and looked at all the colors, and no, I think they look okay, so... They just managed to fool me. You know what? That's fine. I've said many a time that part of the joy of being an artist is being an illusionist and convincing people that all these things are real when they are not. So, you know what? I think it's okay to be fooled sometimes. Okay, so now I'm gonna plop everything that I think should be in shadow out in shadow. Which is gonna be most stuff here. And then you see a little bit of the top, so there'll be plane changes here, and there we go. I'll add all the details after I smooth this out, I think. Let me see. Actually, before I do that, I want to get the buckles in. Because, yeah, this part doesn't actually connect. There's a buckle there. Unfortunately, my stream full body wasn't great, but okay, I found a better one. Okay. So let's see, I think for here, even though it is in shadow, I do want to show the slight hint of pockets. And I might even add another darker color for the inside of the bag, because I do think that we see a little bit inside. So you know what? I'm going to do that. I think that's a good idea. Oh, that's too hot. Let's try. Too dark and too purple. So I want to keep it very, very gray. Only a little bit purple. There we go. That should be good. Okay. So we're going to see just a little bit of the inside of the bag here. Since we're seeing it basically directly on the side here. So I think something like that should be fine. And I might even add just a little bit of this color in between the little pouches there. But otherwise, I think I'm happy. And much like I did on the belt things here, I think I'm just going to do this all in the same layer. A lot of the times I'd separate stuff like this. I think there's an argument to be made that it might be easier to do so, but I already feel like I have tons of layers I'm dealing with, and this is such a small thing. This is fine. We're just gonna have a little triangle here. Oh no, it goes all the way around. Little metallic beads there, but the rest all looks like leather. Oh, and then there's another one here where the bag and the belts all connect. So like that, right? Yeah, and then it connects to something kind of in the pouch there. This is a terrible angle, so I'm going to draw it better. But that is the idea. I'm already at the point where I am trying to get things to look nice, so I do want to try to get it right. I'm thinking about how it acts at this angle. So it connects like up here. It'll come kind of towards us. Like that. And then I just properly connect the belt. That'll be no problem. Okay, and then there'll be little belt loops around this. I'll put those on at the end. So I think this is ready for smoothing. Let's go. I'm pretty glad that I've been successful in trying to get more drawings in off-stream. I mean, I'd been drawing a lot off-stream, but much like on-stream, I tend to be pretty slow. And I've been worried for a while about trying to commit to frequent video updates. Just because I am that slow, but no, I'm glad I've been trying. Because it's been working out for me. Part of the reason that I was really hesitant was just that every time I did Inktober, I'd always get really stressed and frankly really sad because I was putting out a lot of drawings that I just didn't really care about and I often didn't like the result of. And while I think that'll happen a lot, or not a lot, but sometimes, if I insist on updating twice a week, just the fact that I don't have to do it every day is reassuring, because then, you know, I can say, you know what? I think that this drawing will be great if I just gave it a little bit more time. And I can do that now, because I'm not insisting on it just being every day. And so I actually have not been feeling especially stressed about it. And I think it'll be sustainable. We'll see how I feel in a month. Because I do know that early in Inktober, I don't tend to feel too bad, but it does start getting to me after a while. So, you know, we'll see how I feel in a month. And I still have ideas for pictures and whatnot. So we'll see what I can do. And it really does feel good. I think some people have a misconception on, I guess, stress, self-esteem, and, you know, doing your best. And frankly, I think people are a little bit too unwilling to put a bunch of stress on themselves. Like, the good kind, where you're actually making the decision to do something and you're not just doing what people tell you to do. Because when you stretch your limits, you find yourself able to do more and more. Humans are not like machines. When a machine does something, they'll gradually wear out. And then you have to, like, replace parts, and it's all very inconvenient. But when a human does something, they get better at it, not worse. And so, if you do what you can, and then maybe 1 or 2% more, you'll find yourself able to do more in the future. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. And I'm also hopeful that as I keep going, and I try to go fast, but I also insist on actually drawing stuff that I really want to draw, and stuff that I like, stuff that I do enjoy, and stuff that I do actually care about, and I'm not doing for the sake of a silly endurance challenge, that I'll increase my own abilities, and I'll get a little bit faster, and, you know, maybe someday I can actually draw the comic I want. That'd be pretty sweet. Or, you know, be able to draw quickly enough that maybe I can do a little bit of animation beyond puppet animation. Where you draw the one illustration and just split it up enough that you can morph things around, and you can move it that way. But you're not drawing like each frame, you're just drawing one image. I talk about my own goals a lot, but that's because I've been feeling like I've been stuck in a training stage for a while, and it's been driving me slightly mad, and I have to remind myself why I'm doing it. I think I can. But it doesn't make it any less hard. Hold on, itchy eye. There we go. How far do I want the shadow to extend? I don't know. I think I only want it to be about here, actually. As you can see that I totally covered up the belt buckle that I did before, and, you know, that's fine. It's all good. It will be fixed later. Okay. Kind of same here. I'm probably going to cut this one up a little bit too. And that's also fine. This is where putting it on a separate layer would have been helpful, but like I said, I just didn't want to deal with it. And they are small details, and this entire area is in shadow, so that's all going to be a solid color. I'm not going to put any lights on it. So it'll all be very easy. Once I'm ready. Gotta be ready first. All right. Just these two little guys left. And then I can get the inside. I've done a little bit on the inside, I guess. I did get the top of that big belt slinging across her waist. And you'll see here, this is going to be another place where I kind of undo that. But having the note of where it was going to be was useful to me. So it's fine. I'll draw it properly in a little bit. And you know, while I'm right here, I think I'm actually going to get the little belt loop too. Just because I think it'll be real easy to draw. You just plop in the line and all is well. That's a little further back. I need to push that a little further back. There we go. There's like just enough space for that thing to flop around in the wind if you unbutton it, I guess. You know, that makes sense to me. Let me see the top, so I will plop that into shadow, and I'll plop just a tiny little thing back there, also in shadow. And you know what? While I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and just put the little dot on him. This guy will get a little bit of lights though, because he's actually in the light area, so he will get some lights. They're just little dots. Okay. Probably kind of disc-shaped. There we go. And that's it. This is why I was never real worried about the rest of them. I knew that it'd be pretty easy when the time came. It was just not yet time. And you're sticking out too far. Let's see. Yeah, I need you to come back a little. Okay. I think that looks pretty alright. I'm just going to destroy that little button entirely because it is not in the right place at all. The shadow needs to come further back as well. Probably about there, I think. There we go. And now I just go from there. I don't want the tip to be quite so pointy. This is a soft painting, so I want the shapes that I use to be a little bit softer. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. I'll go ahead and add the buckle or the belt loop again. Get that on there. Get the top. And then just a little thing out here. And there we go. I think that looks like it's looping around the way I want. I don't think it needs any highlights or anything. I think this is fine. So let's put in the tiny little dot. A tiny little metal thing. We'll just get that in there. And then I think I'm going to do the rest. I'm going to do this belt buckle, but before I do this one, I kind of want to finish up the shape of the bag here, so this way I kind of have a better idea of where it connects. But I will get this one now. I'm going to take one more look at it, just to make sure I know what I'm trying to do. Need to zoom in a bit here because there's like another thing around it. I'm not quite sure what it is. Okay. No, I think I see what's happening here. I think that's actually a little bit thick. I want this to be just a little thinner. There we go. How long are you? Not that much longer than the belt loop. Or then the belt is wide, I guess. Down here. Down here. Just a simple triangle. And I guess part of it is going into the light then. And then there's something like a belt loop next to it. And then I can't tell if this is metal or not, but it kind of looks metal to me. There's like something that looks kind of like a hook. So, you know, maybe I should actually draw it like that instead. Let's take this back a little bit here. So there's something like a hook over here. And it connects out to this thing. What am I looking at? Okay, no. I think I understand what's going on now. So there's like a hook here. It connects to the belt loop. And then the triangle goes inside here. And so it connects like this. And I will untangle those shapes momentarily, but first I just kind of want to get it drawn. I had to zoom in order to properly understand this. Okay, so part of this is going to be covered up there, but that's fine. There we go. I think I got a good shape there. And it makes sense for there to be shadows through this, so this is all fine. Okay. There we go. Just trying to get it a good width now, so this way I can just shave off certain parts there. Okay. And now I can worry about the lighting and stuff, but I think first I'm going to cover this up here. And I'll put just a tiny little light up here to make it clear what's happening. Okay. Okay, so that buckle may be a little bit more complicated than I gave it credit for, but I think I figured it out. I think that this is correct. So I get the triangle there, and then it connects to this loop. So this part of the loop will be in light, and the rest of the triangle will be in shadow. So it goes underneath that, and then it's just all shadowy. And this part is on top. There we go. So that should be fine. I think I can just leave it there and all is well. So I'm going to go do the inside of the bag. This is kind of the joy of the small details, in that I can kind of ignore them. I mean, I don't ignore them, like that's rude, but I don't have to be as particular with them as I was with, like, the eyes. I mean, you saw it at the beginning of the stream here, where I was like, you know, her eyes don't quite give the same impression that Leia does. So I'm going to adjust this by, like, 2 degrees, and that'll fix all my problems. No, we don't need to do that here. It's fine. Alright, so I got the inside of the bag here. And I want to get all the decorations and stuff that's going to go in there before I connect the belt there. So you know what? I'm going to do that here too. These are going to be the little tubey things that mark the little side pouches there. And this should go further down, I think. Okay, and I have a little bit on kind of the end there. So yeah, I think this will look nice and tubular. I'll even put a little mark there to denote where it comes out. Just want to square off the end. And there we go. I think I got a couple of nice little tubes there. So I'm gonna grab the colors that she uses on these just from over here. We got a pink thing. I guess it's a pink book. And honestly, I think this entire thing is going to be in shadow, so I'm going to just pick the shadow color now and paint the entire thing in the shadow color instead of doing any kind of shading. Oh, that's way too hot. That is like a super hot pink, man. That's good. Okay. So, oops. The entire thing is just going to be this color. I'm not going to bother lighting it. This is out in the background, so it is fine. It is totally fine. You know, small details like this that I don't have to just go super hard on. It's always a nice break after working so hard on everything else until this point. But yeah, legit, as I get farther and farther away from the various focal points, I'm just like, you know, I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can take it easy. And I trust myself to make something that still looks nice. Okay, so I think I know what I'm going to do for this. I'm going to grab these two colors. And once again, I'm just going to put them in shadow. I have my pockets a little bit too high. I don't feel like scrolling out there to get those colors again. I'm going to put them here for now. Okay. These guys got to come down. That should be good. So we have these little bottles. And that I think I'm going to have to do it on another layer, unfortunately. But, you know, it's okay. It won't be that bad. It's just one. I could have easily turned this into 5 if I was particular. Hello there, John, and thank you very much. Getting there. Soon it's going to be lighting time, and I am always excited for lighting time. But first I got to go through some small details and some hair. I think the hair is really what's going to get me. Alright, so we got the little test tubes here. I do wonder what she does with them. She's never really talked about doing any science. Okay, and I think that's good. So now I can go back to my bag layer. And I'm gonna pick out a couple of colors for the liquids here. And then I can just kill all this. There we go. See, that's why I picked that spot. I knew it'd be easy to get rid of it all. Oh, but then I got rid of my blue. Okay, fine. I'll paint the thing first. Let's see, they're a little cloudy. Let's reduce the opacity on that a little bit more. Okay, so we got the test tube liquid. I think I want it to be a little bit shiny, so I'm gonna add just a little bit of a light spot here from the base color. That's sufficient. I think that's fine. So, bag, the cork looked like it was about the same color, so I'm just gonna kind of plop in a light end here, and I'm gonna call it good. Yeah. I think that's all this needs, with maybe just a little bit of a dark spot on the other side. Just, you know, a little bit of shadow here. There we go. And I think that's sufficient. That looks fine for what it is. So, let's see. I think the last thing I need to do here is just... yeah. All I gotta do is attach that last belt, and then the bag is done. So right there, this guy... so he's gonna, like, come inside here and attach like this. Okay. And let's see, how are you going... how does that attach in there, actually? There's, like... I'll just let the little strap do something like this. This is fine for my purposes. Okay, there we go. Okay, and there we go. A bag done. Now she has one more accessory on top of her dress, and that is this little belt buckle. And you know what? I looked at it, and it's like identical to the brooch there. Ah, hello there. Unfortunately, I do not know how to pronounce Cyrillic names. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so just a little belt buckle there, but it's identical to the brooch, just facing the other direction with a pink gem instead of a blue one. So you know what? I'm just going to take what I drew there. Yeah, it doesn't have the little star pieces. All I need is this. Transform, mirror horizontally, and you will be like... Where is it relative to the slit in her dress? Yeah, this is going to be almost entirely covered. So cool, I don't even have to worry about the little details. It's going to be like right there. I might need a different shadow color because that just... Yeah, because it's melding with the vestment on top, and I don't like it. So I'm gonna make it just a little bit darker. Not a lot, just a little. The color I'm using here is, as you can see, very close to white. Just a little bit purple. There we go. Yeah, and the rest is covered up, so that's it. So now it's just a matter of smoothing out the dress. And then all the stuff behind her. So then I can do the hair. That'll be the hair, the back of the veil, and then the wings that I currently have hidden. Oh yeah, and she has that little pink wing on her dress that I still have to draw. That I will actually do after, because I think all I'm gonna do is get the basic shading on there and the gradients, and then put the shadows on, so this way it looks like it's part of the dress. So I need to know where the shadows on the dress are. Okay, no, I think this is all good. I'm just making sure I like the folds, and I don't know, man, I really don't. So this might be a case of less is more, and maybe, just maybe, I'm trying too hard. I am perhaps somewhat prone to doing that, so, you know, let's try one more time. I like the fold here. It works for me. I'm just gonna kind of clear everything. And I'll try again. So we'll get a little flutter right here, where it's kind of fluttering out. And there's going to be a little pull from this. And then maybe just a little one here. I don't know. This is starting to make everything look the same. I think it looks better without it. So, I don't know, maybe I just leave it here. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Do I like it? Just a tiny fold. Yeah, works for me. Okay. Okay, and then I just want a little tiny shadow from her chest on the belt here. I guess before I do that, I'm gonna smooth out this darkest part. So I want to be very, very clear on where this belt part is. Very, very clear. So that this way I can put in this darkest spot. Okay, and then I can have a little bit of shadow from her chest. And also the robes here. Okay, but actually before I do that, I want to do something similar on the bottom here. I guess this is the part I'm smoothing out first, but it's okay, you know? I can smooth it out in any order, so this works for me. This is the part that is the least clear in my head, so I think it makes sense to start here. Maybe sounds a little bit weird to say that, but with as clear as everything else is, I think this will be an excellent first step to just figuring out the rest. Because a lot of the times, you know, when I'm drawing stuff, I prefer to start with the areas that are the most clear to me, but now that I'm arriving at the end, starting with the areas that are the least clear, actually helpful. Okay, and then I want to do kind of the same thing down here, where I just have, like, slightest hint of a shadow here, kind of outlining it. And then I'll make, you know, a few little baby folds here and there. I've already established that I shouldn't go very hard on them, so I think this is fine. I'm just going to leave it there. I'll zoom out, make sure it's all good in just a bit. Okay, I gotta fix that. There is a very small shading error here. There we go. But it was bothering me, so I wanted to fix it. Okay, and no, that's not following the shape of her body correctly. That is. Okay. And I just see a little bit of excess stuff there that I gotta get rid of. But that's easy enough to do, and yeah, the reason I wanted to make sure to draw that fold correctly is I want to make it clear that you know, we're seeing her from a little bit below, so her body's kind of tilted this way a little bit. Hard to see with that color. Kind of like that. Okay, and then this side should be entirely dark. But once again, first I'm gonna get the stuff around it good. Make sure everything is nice and clear. And then I can put in the proper shadow color. But this will help me make sure it's all in the right spot. There we go. And then this is a cast shadow from the vestment above. Oh, I see. These are holes. And that is residue. What is that from? You're from there. Okay. There we go. All gone. It's easy. With the way that I kind of render and smooth things out, sometimes I just miss a few spots. Okay, so then here I got that slight hint of that underdress there. Because her dress has like 4 different layers to it. And I'll just go from there. Okay, some of the colors here are going to have to change, but I just want to get this down for now. And let's see, do I want darker cast shadows from the belt? I don't think so. I think this is fine. Okay, and I also need to kind of shore up the edges through here. This should actually go all the way up to her... Yeah, up to the belt. But I think that they overlap here, so this is okay. And I just need a dark line kind of going up here. Where they start overlapping. Okay. You know, like I said, once I start getting down to these little areas at the bottom, it's like, you know, it's fine. Pretty much whatever I do is fine. Just about anything can live here, and it'll look great. So I feel like all the effort's been done already. So now, because my past self worked so hard, I get to have an easy time, and it feels great. So that's the advantage of doing all the work up front. It's like eventually you just get to the point where it's basically done. It's wonderful. So I have a little bit of stuff here that doesn't make much sense. So I will have to adjust that because this here is supposed to be the second layer of dress. And it's not quite matching up with where I have everything folded. So I will have to fix that. That's easy enough to do. So this is my line telling me where everything is folded and... or where the edge of the dress is. And based on where this part is coming out, it needs to go to the left. So I'm probably just going to have to redraw most of that line. Let's just start from the top. Get the angle correct this time. Okay. And then I erase the old spot. Or I guess in this case, just kind of color over it. Now I want to get this the right width. A little bit too thick through here. Okay, and then I do want a little bit of shadow underneath the belt there. This is supposed to be a shadow representing it being pulled over here, so I think this makes sense. Because I figured that these little belts are holding the dress together somewhat. Stopping it from being quite as flowy as I would otherwise make it. So there's a bit of cloth being held in place very firmly. And I do want to give that impression. So that's why I have a few extra little folds here. There we go. And then it gets thicker near the end because this is also the cast shadow for this little bit of cloth flipping upward. And actually this needs to be the cloth flipping upward, so I can't have it super shadowy. There we go. But I can have this kind of thing going on over here. I don't know, do I like that? I think I do. I'll zoom out and check it later. I kind of want to get some of this other stuff in here. This one, I don't do it quite the same because it's also just shadowed there. So I could probably, I don't know, put a potential lump there. But no, I think I just want to simplify the shadows. I don't think it needs to go very hard. I think this is fine. I kept trying to go hard on it earlier and it just was not working, so I'm gonna be very gentle with it. I do try to avoid making the same mistake twice. When I can. Okay, and I think that's it. So there we go. That's her whole body done. So let's start. Oh, wait. That's right. The wing. The pink wing. Yeah, I have it set to darken right now, just because I wanted to get the shading on it, but that'll come later. Let's see. How high up on her body is that? Man, it doesn't show it on this side. I guess I have to use the back. Let's see, what's it doing there? Okay, so I think it needs to be higher. And probably right about here. Okay, and I'm gonna simplify this in my brain to a rectangle. So it's just gonna kind of go like this for now. And once I feel a little bit more confident with that, I'll get the rest of the shapes. But I don't think I would get this shape looking very good if I didn't try to make it a simpler shape first. I think it would be highly inaccurate, and it would just be sad. It'd be the saddest wing ever. So let's try simplify it to something I can understand a little bit more easily. I'll try to find the area that it covers. And I'll go from there. So I think it's kind of like that. Gotta reduce the opacity for a second because I think the way this is, the shape should be broken a little bit. So I'm gonna break it like right about here. Gonna push it down. This is just because of how the dress is fluttering, and then absolutely none of it should be on this part that's flipping up. It's gonna be underneath that. So that means we get a shape kind of like this. And it looks a little weird right now, but I do believe that this is correct. And the main reason it looks a little weird right now is because there's no shadows. Not gonna fix that yet, though. That's gonna come a little bit later. Okay, no, I can't break this yet. I will not understand what I'm doing if I try. Okay, so I need to get the shape of the wing. So I think it's going to be coming out and up here. And then down like this. No, I shaved off way too much of the box there. The thing is that because of how she's angled, I think we get this thin part here. And that's going to be what's showing up. So I'm trying to get that. But I totally changed the angle and it didn't look very good. Okay, and then feathers. Okay, I'm gonna smooth that out and then I'm gonna put in the gradient. I think this is probably sufficient for what it is. But man, I'm just here eager to get that hair done. But, you know, I gotta be patient. It's important. I can't let myself rush. I'm always very tempted to rush when there's something I want to do. And I just really, really want to finish her hair. What is this? Column. Okay. That should be fine. But yes, I just really, really want to finish her hair. That's why I called this episode Planckera versus Hair. Because I know once I finish that everything else is basically done. But looking at the time, I might save the hair for next time. Maybe I'll do the wings on her back today instead. No, I want to do the hair. I want to do the hair. What kind of purple is that? I do think it's the same purple as her hair. So I'm gonna steal that purple. It's kind of angled like this. Yeah, I think that's good. And what I'm gonna do is, rather than try to shade these individually, I'm going to use a multiply layer. I don't do this often because I don't really like to. Oh, that's a mask. I want to group. Because I don't really like to. But I think it makes sense here. As for why I don't like to, I couldn't tell you. It's taste. I just don't. I'm trying to think about how I should go about shading this. So there's going to be the second layer of feathers. Yeah, they're not that much higher than the other ones. So they'll be somewhere around here. I'll go ahead and just draw them, I guess. It probably won't be shaped quite like this. But this is a fine place to start. Is it? I don't know. It looks kind of bad. Feathers, man. Okay. Put it a little higher. Just so this way I can have it and just come out and out. So we got the big one coming up here. I'll start from this side. Okay, this is working for me. This is working. Okay. I just had to think about it for a second. Okay, and then We'll have the second layer of feathers doing something like this. In theory. Yeah, there we go. Just took me a couple of tries to understand it, but I think that's pretty close once I get rid of that weird bar down the bottom. I think my feathers are a little bit smaller than the ones on her model, but I think this is fine. So I'll clean it up, and that'll do it for the dress after, you know, I get the rest of the shadows in. I still have to split it apart on that fold like I mentioned earlier. And then I just have to get it to blend in with the folds of the dress. And I'm just adjusting some proportional stuff while I'm here because I think I got a couple of spots a little bit wrong. That's okay. It's easy enough to adjust. I think it's also okay if the proportions are just a little bit off too. As long as they're not so off it's distracting, it's fine. This really is the part where I get to be kind of lazy. Very nice after working so hard and everything else. Really is. This is just where I get to have the little break. Okay. Yeah. Let's just smooth this. It must still be nice and smooth. Now her hair, on the other hand, I can't really be super lazy about that because some of that is going to be up near her face, and you don't mess around with the face. The face must be perfect, and anything around it must also be quite good. So I get to be a little bit lazy in the sense that most of it is going to be in shadow, and I don't necessarily have to be super detailed on everything. Just due to how we see reflections of light. So anywhere that's in shadow, we see in less detail. So when you draw things, it'll actually look better if you draw the shadowed areas a little bit less detailed. So that's not laziness, that's just accuracy. But the bright side is that you don't have to work quite as hard. It's also like when you're viewing things from far away, you don't see as many details in it. Your brain will try to fill in some of the details because it's a liar and that's what it does. But you don't actually see, for example, every leaf in a forest or every strand of hair on someone's head. Your brain just convinces you because it knows what a leaf looks like and it knows what hair looks like. And it shows you what you would expect, as opposed to what's actually there. So, since this hair is going to be behind her, kind of shadowed, it doesn't have to be quite as detailed as her front hair. Okay. And there we go. There's the first set of little feathers there. That's fine. So now, time to smooth out this second set. I just want to make sure that it doesn't look distracting. I feel like that's the main thing with a lot of these things far from the focal point. I want to make sure that it matches stylistically and that it's not distracting. And that means two things. That one, if I'm a little inaccurate, it's fine. I've already kind of discussed that. But two, that I'm not putting so much detail into them that it distracts from the main focal point. I don't really want people to be looking at the bottom of her dress. And so the less emphasis I put on it via detail, the more people's eyes will be directed toward the areas with more detail, like the face, where I put a lot of detail. Okay, and I think that's all good. So let's do another layer. I will also just set this one to multiply. And I just kind of trace over the shadows. And you know what? I'm going to make my life super easy. And I'm going to use my selection tool to just select where they are. Grow selection by 1 pixel to make sure I get it all. And then I just paint in here. And there we go. Oh, I missed one. Oh, because it didn't get selected. Okay. Over here. Oh, no, I can't do this yet. Totally forgot. Okay, I have to cut it up. That's right. I totally forgot. This is why I wanted to do it first. But then I realized, no, this is going to make it really hard to draw properly if I do it first. Let's not. Okay, unfortunately, I probably should have done it before doing the gradient, because now this is going to be a slight pain to draw. But, you know what? I'll deal with it. Oh, you know what I can do? I can do another selection thing. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Maybe there's hope. Let's see. Okay, so I've selected the inverse, and I want to get rid of anything on this side. Nothing here should move. And then I just take this, and I move it down a little. It'll look weird for a second, but it's okay. Fix it. There. Okay, like I said, you know, it looks a little weird. But it'll make sense once I'm zoomed out and all that stuff. Okay, and it's not overlapping with this flap here. And then I want to make sure that it does go all the way up to the edge. And then I just kind of need to correct a few spots, but I think this is all actually looking pretty all right. Just a little strange. And now I can finish the shadows, and I think that'll fix a lot of the problems. And I lost my color. There we go. Okay. One last shadow. There, now it looks like there's a little fold in there. And I will round out the edge just over here, just so it looks like it's going down and around a bit. I don't want to overdo it, though, because I need to make it look like it's sitting on top of this fold. And on this side, I'm actually going to send it up just a little bit. hopefully be a little bit more convincing that it is just sitting in between the folds there. But there we go. Okay, and now the dress is done for real. I think I got all the details right. Because it's too high up for these magic circles. It's only going to probably right about here. Although I guess... No, this one does show up near the bag. No, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think this is fine. I was considering it. It does look like this one goes into the tip of the wing. No, I think they show. I'm wrong. Okay. We'll get that on there then. Okay, I think I'm gonna open it up and trace this. Can I do that on the reference sheet? I don't think I can. Copy. Paste. Copy, paste. Why did it give me that one? Oh, I see. Okay, I see what's happening. So I can copy the reference in. Alright, that's fine. I'll just cut out the part that I need here. I was hoping I would put it on a different layer, but I guess it's fine. But yeah, I don't really want to attempt to draw this freehand. Oh. Okay, so it's not working how I expected it. How do I move it around? I reduce its opacity. Doesn't look like it. Okay, well, I'll try to get it in a good spot. Planckera learns how to use Krita reference images today, apparently. Okay, well... I just need to get the size good in that case. Not quite what I was hoping for, but I think I can make it work. And how big do I want this to be on her hip? From the top to the bottom there. This should be a decent size. Okay, and I'm just gonna trace this. Get this as close to the center as I can. Okay, let's just trace it. All right. Yeah, I've been enjoying this group so far, so I'm happy to do more art of them. As for my height, well, I see myself as kind of in closing. It's Planckera. It is not implying height. It is implying a time. So. I don't know, but basically, you know, I have seen myself as a personification of the Big Bang, and thus, you know, large swaths of the universe. And so personally, I would consider myself quite large. Oh god. Sucks that I can't see what I'm doing, so I hope this looks good. So we're just gonna pretend like I can see at all here, and then I'll just clean it up after. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yes. Exactly. Ah yes, the Planckera was the, you know, first a fraction of a second after the Big Bang. So if you're familiar with Planck units, just apply it to time. During the super rapid expansion, where the universe was doing impossible things. It is really nerve-wracking trying to draw this when I can't see anything at all. Exactly. I've never been compared to Santa, but you know, it's okay. My daughter has been wanting me to read a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer book to her, like, every single night for the past 2 weeks. That book specifically. So I have been seeing a lot of Santa, even though Christmas is done. I can't remember if I've gotten that part, and I don't know how to hide this. I do not know how to hide it. Shoot, don't move, please. Send a back? Nope. I am. Have been for a while. My kids are pretty fantastic. Here we are. Opacity. Oh man, this means I can reduce the opacity. Awesome. You know what? I'm gonna try to draw this again then because, oops. I do not think it looks very good right now, but now I can see. Normally, I have never tried to trace a reference. I've never really felt like I've had to. But I don't feel like drawing the entirety of this star freehand right now. So here we are. I'm gonna do this on top. Okay, now I can see everything. You know what? No, I'm gonna keep making my life easy. I keep telling myself I should make use of my tools a little bit better, so I'm gonna do that. I'm also gonna lock this so I don't accidentally move it. Let's see. A little further to the left here. So, let's break out the line tool. Sometimes I feel like I'm far too willing to make my life hard. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot easier than whatever the heck I was trying to do. Okay. So from here to up here. And here to over here. Oh, why did you... I did not let go. Computer, please stop. I'm holding down the mouse button, I promise. There we go. Okay, yeah, that was a lot easier. So now I got straight lines that I can work from. I'm a little off up there, but you know what? It's okay. I should still get something that looks correct if I... start from there. I don't think it's actually shaped like that. Yeah. It's like a little curly thing. And it's probably fine if I don't have it like 100% accurate, since they will be kind of distorted and transformed quite a lot. But I just always find it easier to start from something reasonably accurate when doing such distortions. So I would like to try to get it reasonably accurate. Enough that I can kind of see where it needs to go. What is that? That's a good question. What is going on right there? Even looking at a higher quality image, I have no idea, so I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess a star shape like that, but it doesn't go all the way across for some reason. Okay. And I think this is gonna look really nice once I get around to putting it on her dress. Incidentally, this is why I don't normally copy things and I just kind of freehand it. Just because I often find that tracing does not yield very good results, and things look a little bit messy and unrefined. But I think I'm getting it in decently well here. I wonder if she has this in a transparent PNG somewhere. So I don't have to draw it every single time I ever want to draw her. Because I know myself, I will insist on drawing it every single time. Perfectionism is one hell of a drug, I tell ya. Oh yeah. Maybe I should at some point. Okay, but I think I've got the gist of it down. Oh no, I don't. I forgot about all the center stuff. Because I imagine that the model artist would have put it on a separate layer somewhere. I'm not sure if she has access to the original model. But I would have imagined that it would be separated. If she doesn't, I'll probably make it myself. Yeah, it would make sense, yes. It's actually way less complicated than it looks at first blush, though, because most of it is just simple little curly things. And those are pretty easy to draw. Okay, I think I've only got like a couple left here. But man, it's just so blurry. What is that? Okay, I think I see what's going on. Up here, we got a little like leaf shape here, and then curls like this. But it looks like there's still something here. I'm guessing it's just a curl. No, that doesn't make sense. Maybe like this then? Okay, I need to look at this again. Okay, I see what's happening there. It's a flower. A curl and a flower. Okay, I'm gonna make my life easy again, and I'm gonna add another layer here, and I'm just gonna make it solid white. There we go. This way, hopefully I can see those little flowers a little bit better. Okay, let's try that again. This is not like that. I should have drawn all these curlies on a separate layer. And then merged it down after. Okay. This part is not symmetrical, so I will have to draw that after. I'd say mine's Katya as well. She is very funny. I plan to draw her next. I just had a strong urge to draw space, and well, when I saw that image of the highest point of Delphia You know, the part that's out in space. I have it over here. Once Krita decides to let me pan. Why do you not want to let me pan? There you go. This guy. Over here. I was like, yeah, let's draw that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's draw that. That sounds great. And so I did this one first. So Katya will probably be next. I might, depending on what I feel like doing, I might hold off for reasons, but I have plans. And then I've also, you know, released a couple of smaller illustrations that I've been doing off stream. And I plan to do that twice a week. May not be VarPro every single time, but it probably will be them a lot. Because that's mostly what I'm watching right now. Okay. Okay, I think I got it all. Cool. So let's get rid of this guy here. And now I'm just gonna kind of smooth it out. Well, yeah, it needs a little smoothing. I don't want to get too fixated on it. I am very prone to getting fixated on very small details. Makes sense. I'm just really curious to see what they're gonna do with the concept here. I want to know where they're going with the world building and how they're going to integrate that into actual streaming. Because, you know, if they can actually pull off the level of role-playing they seem to want to go for, I'm going to be very happy. I think more of VTubing needs more theater kit energy. We got a lot of the idle energy. I want more theater kit energy. So far they're doing more with it than any other place I've seen. So I hope they go harder. Yes, exactly. Drama's way more fun when it's fictional. But I just saw the Katya and Leia dual debut part, and I was like, man, I was in love. That was fantastic. They played off each other very well. Okay. So I do have to tell myself, don't get stuck on every tiny detail here. It's fine. This is gonna be, like, barely showing in the very bottom of the picture. It just needs to be accurate and smooth enough that it doesn't draw attention to itself for looking bad. I have to remind myself, because otherwise I will keep drawing it until it is perfect. Man, I was planning on doing her hair today. The braids, that is. But I don't know. Maybe I should just do her other wing. Or her wings, rather. One of those times where I think I'm getting close to having the thing finished, and then I notice, oh hey, guess what? There's like 20 more details that you didn't notice. You never know what something looks like until you try to draw it, I swear. I actually really like drawing magic circles, though. I want to draw more. I think they are super cool. It's a great aesthetic. I see. Yes. No, it is absolutely true, because you are privy to information that nobody else is. You know exactly where you got lazy and exactly where your hand moved in a way you didn't want it to, and that kind of thing. Nobody else does, so a lot of the time they don't notice it. It's why you have that experience of when something is pointed out to you, you can't unsee it again. Because now you do have the information. Oh. I have felt that a lot, yes. One where I still remember of Inktober of last year. The drawing that got the most comments and likes and stuff was one of my least favorite ones. But people liked it, and I tried to understand why, and I think it comes down to some stuff that I was talking about earlier, of just a lot of illustration is about impressions and the impression that it gives, and not necessarily the details you see. And a lot of the people that were commenting on it were commenting about storytelling and stuff. So whatever impression it gave, regardless of the complete lack of technical skill that was in it, was apparently very positive. So I have been trying to take note of that, and I do like storytelling in my illustrations, so it would be nice to go harder on it. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, I could see where that would be embarrassing, and then everybody's just like, yeah, great job, man! And then you just look at it, and you're just like, what is wrong with you people? How could you be so blind? Early on, when I was learning how to draw, I really did not like anything that I made for a really long time. And so it's like, people would look at it and try to compliment me, and I'd be trying to figure out if they were being facetious or just overly supportive or something. Because I just, I couldn't believe them. Because I'd look at it and just be like, all I could see is, you know, this just doesn't look the way I want it to. I see. Yeah, it makes sense. Doing forbidden science is a very good way to lose a finger. It is true. But everybody knows that forbidden science is the best type of science. Never... No scientist is ever going to let people tell them what to do, right? There is knowledge to be had. Go, got the line. Oh dear. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess when it's that small, people are less likely to notice just because it's so tiny. All right. Almost through. I think I just have this part and then a couple of asymmetrical ones. But this is probably mostly sufficiently refined. I think it'll be fine. These are like little flowers, not stars. I have to remind myself. Yeah. That does make sense. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I could make it better, but why? It'll be fine. I just don't want anything to look too... I want to make sure that all those nice curves are in there. The circles I'm only erasing because it's really easy to make a perfect circle in digital, so there's not much point in not doing it. All I gotta do is click. Yes. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Yeah, this one doesn't touch the edge from what I remember. And if it did, whoops, it doesn't now. So that's fine. Let's see, I think this is probably a complete loop. And from there... Yeah, I think this is fine. So I'll just go ahead and clean up this little asymmetrical part here real quick, and I think I'm gonna call that good. So there we go. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so I'll get it the right color. Because I don't think I picked the right color, I just picked one at random. It's gonna be this color. Color that in, and now I will send it down to the bottom here, where it belongs. Okay. And we're not going to use that one. I'm going to leave that one as a nice stencil, so that this way I can safely transform it. Get it all the right size. So it goes from like her bag to the bottom of the skirt, so... I think I want it a little bigger than that. There's a little bit more space left in her skirt there. Because yeah, we don't even see the tip of the wing. I probably made this side too long, but it's fine. Okay, so like that, and then... I'm just gonna kinda... No, I shouldn't use warp, I should use mesh. There we go. Just rotate it into place a little bit, and there we go, that's good. See, I think I probably got a little bit too fixated on it. But I do really, really like getting things good. So let's see, this one will be touching the edge of the bottom of the feather, which I think is going to be like... right here. So we don't actually see any of it here. Okay. And I think we do see a little bit of it here. So if we don't see any of that one, I'm just going to take the original. Because if I'm going to either make a local copy for myself or ask for a better reference that I can just copy and paste, I'm not going to use one that I said, you know what, this is fine with. I'm going to actually make it accurate. Right about there. Works for me. Okay. Let's see, how much time do I have left? Got about 30 minutes. So, yeah, I think I'm going to hold off on the hair, actually. I was planning on doing her hair today, but I think I'm just going to go do her little wings. I lied. No, I am going to do the hair today because the hair is in front of the wings, and I'd rather have the hair done first. Okay. Let's go ahead and actually connect her braids to her head, finally. They've been floating out in space for such a long time, I've gotten used to it. Okay. So let's see, this side should be over here. Did they go completely behind her head? I think they'd mostly do. Yeah. So I don't want much space back there. There we go. Yes. Most of the time I do go forward to back. There are certain exceptions. Like today I worked on the little bag on her hip there, and for that I needed to make sure that her dress was correct. So this way I could wrap around her body correctly. But otherwise, yeah, I tend to draw whatever is in front first. Wait. I totally did not smooth that. Okay. Back to the dress. Whoops. These things happen. Let's fix that. It's like I thought I'd finished it, but no, I missed a spot. Oh, terrible. Yeah, that's right, because I started with the belt thing under her bust, and, went down and never went back up to get this part. Fortunately, it's a pretty tiny area. So it shouldn't take that long to just kind of smooth it all out. What am I doing here? That's a good question. So I want to trust what I drew, because I do remember liking it. So I don't want to change it too much while I'm zoomed in at 200%. Oh, and I missed a spot up here too. There we go. Yeah, all that should be in shadow. Let's see, the shadow from this is going to be back here, so nothing on the dress. I'll just get rid of all these terrible, terrible blobby corners. Make them nice and sharp. Okay, there we go. Oh, red light. Up here. There we go. Okay, that's better. Back to hair. Okay. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Okay, first things first. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. And her hair is making it hard. So I'm gonna invert the color on it. Alright, so we're gonna have green hair Leia for a little bit. It's fine, don't worry about it. Then, now that I can actually see what I'm doing, I needed to get the color first. There we go. Okay, now that I can actually see what I'm doing, I don't know. I mean, there are certain things that I thought looked pretty cute. Like, I must admit, with the amount of times I had to hide the braids, I think short hair Leia is pretty cute. I might actually draw her hair like this someday. But, I I'm not sure how to feel about, like, radioactive sewer green. I'm not sure if I'm gonna call that good, but... It's okay, like I said, don't worry about it. I'll fix it later. That's where inverting the colors can be really, really nice. Also, her head is in the way a little bit. Yes. Alright, we're just gonna cut off her head for a second so I can see what I'm doing. And... I need to cut off a few more things here. Okay. So it's gonna be kind of like this. Yeah, I can tell that I greatly overused Liquify to make this work. Alright, there we go. I see. Well, I mean, green hair is a pretty decent choice. Okay, and I will put just a tiny gap there. Okay, and I'm gonna lock the layer real quick, and I'm gonna put in the various braid bits. I don't know what you call these, but each little section. And I'm just gonna go all the way down. I feel like braids are one of those things where you kind of have to understand the outside. Or the inside before you can detail the outside. Okay, and then back here, I think I can just put all of this in shadow, all of it here too. And I can probably just put the pleats anywhere there. I'll call them pleats. I don't think they're actually called pleats, but I'm going to call them that. They should be a lot smaller than that on these end parts. Well, no, I just mean each segment of the braid. I don't know if each individual segment has its own name. Okay, what are you? How the heck did some body residue get all the way over here? Oh, whatever. I see. Okay. I guess it makes some amount of sense. Okay, now to define the outer parts. So this is where the general shapes are going to get in. At the very least, this method of drawing them has worked for me mostly. This one's too thick, so I gotta extend it a little further here. Okay. Oh, I don't mind if you just hallucinated it. If I was really curious, I'd just Google it real quick. I'm willing to take your word for it. I don't know, if I start drawing braids enough, like, maybe then I'll look it up, but... It's okay, you know, laughing at the streamer's complete lack of vocabulary is a very fun pastime. Same with stuttering. I've watched Katya enough to know that people think stuttering is hilarious, so I haven't bothered to fix it. Okay. So there we go. Getting those basic shapes in there. And then I should be able to make the edges nice. I feel like... braids are one of those things where normally I like to just smooth out the outside so this way I can lock the layer and never have to worry about going outside the lines. But I feel like braids are one of those things where I have to do the outside and the inside at the same time. So they're a little inconvenient. But I feel like I've been drawing them a lot lately. I guess just a lot of people I've been drawing have them. What are you? Oh, seriously, what is that? Well, it's not on Leia, so I guess it doesn't really matter right now. Oh, I see. Do I? Yeah, I think I see. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. It's something to do with the balcony. I'll deal with that later. It's fine. Okay, there we go. Yep. Makes sense. You know what? Sounds good to me. I had just been calling them pleats because they remind me of just individual sections of a pleated skirt, but Leia Miser sounds good to me. I'll just call them that forever, and then nobody will know what I'm talking about, and that defeats the purpose of language. But, you know, I'm sure people will learn someday if they watch me enough. When it comes down to it, words are just things that we agree on. So if enough people agree with your cool new word, it'll be adopted. So I'll do my best. Okay. So apparently I decided when I put the center part in that the braid was twisting a little bit, and I'm cool with that. It wasn't intentional, but it looks good, so I'm gonna roll with it. Hand had a good idea. Sometimes I do find that your hands can be smarter than your brain occasionally. They just have like this sixth sense for something that'll look cool. And yeah, there we go. So there's the start. So now I gotta go through and put some shadows in good spots. And you know what? I don't want to use that color. How do I want to do this? Maybe I should have thought of that before I started doing all this, but the idea didn't occur to me until just now, so... Because I have a third color. And I think I'd rather use my dark color. I guess I could accept that. I was thinking about whether or not I agreed, but deliberate obfuscation does sound mostly correct there. Maybe deliberate obfuscation or trying, or pretension. Pretension would be the other thing. Of just where you feel like your emotions are like way more deep than anybody else's, and so you need a new word to describe them. I guess that's maybe adjacent to deliberate obfuscation, but I have met people like that. They are somewhat unpleasant. Man, now I got rid of the shadow color again. This is why a lot of the time I only use 2 colors, because then I can switch between them super easily. I see. Oh, I don't have the layer locked. To an extent, when I was attempting to learn Japanese again, I felt that a lot, where a word could mean either lots of that, none of that, something, nothing, and this was extremely common within the language. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, how do people talk to each other? But you know, they manage. Good old contextual languages. I guess every language is contextual, strictly speaking, but I feel like some have it worse than others. Actually, I think this one is a little bit more well lit than the other one. Okay. So like that, yes. Close. I think I want this part to just lose all its details. Same with down here. Behind her arm and stuff. So I'm just gonna have that lose all its details, and there we go. I think that is right. And I should be able to invert the hair back, and it should let me see everything correctly now. So now I should be able to detail things as necessary. Yes. We'll see how far I get with this in 20 minutes. 15. A little more than 15. Okay. But here goes nothing. I'm gonna go smooth out those outer edges now. Let me see. I feel like they should be extending a little further out here. Oh, did I not have this entire... Oh no, I'm on the hair layer. Yeah, it would help if I'm on the correct layer. No wonder it felt like it was acting weird. There we go. Okay, I think I want to extend this out just a little here, but otherwise I think it's good. And as much as I just want to go and focus on getting the outside, I do kind of feel like I gotta get the inside too. Okay, this side should come up a little bit more. The colors only kind of matter right now, as long as I know what I'm trying to draw. And then I'll fix them at the end, but trying to switch between a million colors while I'm just trying to get the edges looking nice is a pain, so I try not to do it. All right. Yeah, well, I'd love to have you here anytime you're able to. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, or if by lying down you mean you're going to bed, then I hope you're able to sleep well. So thanks for stopping by. Okay. Yeah, let's see how far I can get here. Gonna keep a lot of things, at least at the base here, kind of implied. It'll get more... I don't know, detailed as I go further down. But I do think that the top just kind of needs to be loosely implied, since it's largely behind her head, where it's not very visible. Okay. So I do kind of want to get the width of a lot of these looking right, because I feel like I will not be able to define a lot of where they should go on the outside until I kind of know what some of these inside bits look like. So that's what I meant when I said that I was going to have to work on both of them at once. Whereas normally I just like to focus entirely on the outside, but that probably wouldn't go too well for me here if I tried that. Because I'd get there and then I'd start detailing the inside and I would realize, oh, hey, this is not quite right. I better go fix it. I've drawn braids enough times to know that I do that a lot. So I'm just gonna do them together this time. But I gotta say, she's already looking a lot nicer with them here since I've been, for most of this drawing process, hiding them, basically. Just because, you know, it was not yet time to work on them. But now it is time. It is time to just perfect everything. Honestly, I'm looking forward to working on some of the background elements too. How do I want to do this? I think I'm just going to plop the entire thing here. And I think that's how big this braid is. So yeah, I guess this entire thing is just going to get all smoothed out all at once. I'm probably going to have to go back to the inside and work on some details. I do tend to like doing things in passes. I just find that if I focus really hard on structural things first, then I can make good sense of everything, and I just understand what it is that I'm trying to draw better. I'll leave a little hint of a braid there. Or, Leia miser, yes. I forgot the word for a second there. Yes, we will leave a hint of the Leia miser there. Okay. I think this is like the halfway point for this one. They do get a little bit smaller as I go down, though. So I will actually have more to draw as I go further down, I think. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's all good. So let's head down here. Let's see. Once again, I think I want these areas that are just kind of right up next to this to be dark. Just because this is also kind of purple. Ooh, that reminds me. I did not shade the underdress. That is very pleated. Yes, I need to do that. I'm gonna finish the hair, though. So I might not be able to do it this time. Oh, that's a little unfortunate. You know what? It's all right. I will put in some messy stuff just to remind myself that it's something I need to do. I feel like these are all a little big, so I'm gonna make them a little bit smaller. So that means I'm basically changing this entire thing. That's fine. I can do that. In that case, let me get each Leia miser in the right place here. So that this way I can safely kind of define where they're going to go. And I'll do that a little bit messy for the time being. And I'll see where it takes me. So this one's probably going to be here, 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 here. Okay. Okay, and now I should be able to draw them sanely. So that means I kind of gotta fix a bunch of stuff there, but that's fine. I can do that. I think it'll be kind of like this. So the bottom here is going to be a little bit messy for just a bit. Till I kind of figure it all out. But this is why you gotta start with the structure. If you don't, you get confused. I mean, look how much easier the upper part went compared to down there. When I was like, huh, no, this is not structurally sound. How do I draw braids again? Okay, here we go. I gotta get the rhythm back. I feel like once the rhythm is lost, bad things happen. Okay, I have found the rhythm again. I have found it. And now I think all will be well. Okay, all is well. There we go. And make that thicker, then this part will come out and up. And you will kind of overlap a little bit more here, and I don't think you're going to be that pointy. There we go. And then I just kind of have to adjust some of these other things accordingly. But I can do that. It's not that big a deal. Not in the slightest. But it did take me a second to figure it out again. This is why structure is important. And if you get it wrong, you're in for a little bit of extra work. But I'm not really afraid of a little bit of extra work, so it's all good. Okay, let's... Oh man, some of those are still a little big, aren't they? This one needs to be a little smaller. Which means the other braid probably comes out around here, and we get something like this. And it'll come back over here. Figuring out structure on the fly. A terrible idea. But, I mean, it's just the unfortunate and inevitable result of mistakes were made. I see. Yeah, Leia's hair is quite long. I mean, you can see. It goes down to her feet. So yeah, it just goes and goes and goes. Okay, that's good for now, I suppose. And there is a gradient, but I think it goes off screen before the gradient comes, because, yeah, this is not that long. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and smooth out the other side. Let's see, the veil here is transparent enough that I should hide it. And I can just kind of make a big, bold shapes there, and it'll be fine. I just wanted to make sure they were smooth. Maybe just another little one here. No. Maybe just a bit higher up then. No. Also no. Is it fine then? Yeah, this is fine. The ones at the start are really quite large, so I think this is accurate. Then I just need to make sure the edges are not blobby. They need to be a little round because I want this to be soft. And I don't want it to be too hard-edged. The one I'm going to work on tomorrow, that's going to have all the hard edges, but no, this one should be soft. This is a nice, soft, and gentle picture. Okay. And down here, once again, I think I want the front part here to be shadowed. I'll leave a small hint here. Small hint of braid. There we go. That should be good. Okay, and then it's just a matter of connecting everything. Yeah, I'm glad. It looks like I'm gonna at least be able to get the basics done here. The details will have to come next time. The next time I work on this is gonna be Monday, I think. And tomorrow is gonna be continuing the very unhinged BB Biscuit. Okay. So let's just get these in nice and roughly. Make sure the outside is decently smoothed. And then next time I can finish it off. So I was indeed a little bit overambitious thinking that I could get all of Leia done today. Because, I mean, I haven't even done my special lighting yet. It's still off. But oh man, I look forward to that. I swear, once the lighting comes on, that's just when everything comes together. That's just when everything becomes fantastic, and that tends to be when I really start liking things. I do have it down very loosely, and I'll turn on the layers in just a sec. I do like seeing how everything looks at the end with all the layers on. I think I can finish up the outside of the braid here real quick. How many more do I have? Oh, I actually have quite a few. Well, I think it's probably fine. Let me just try to quickly get some of that. I might be a little bit looser than I have been, but I think I've kind of gotten the rhythm down, so it should be fine. Okay. The ones down here don't actually look too bad, so that's nice too. And if I think they're a little bit off next time, you know, I can fix it then. So all is well. Okay, there we go. Very, very roughly put together. But yeah, I have less layers to put on here, so we just got the two back there, and... Let's see, I have all my background layers on, right? I do. And then just the last few things, and there we go. Oh man, I so look forward to putting that lighting on there. But this is where I will have to stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow, and for anyone new coming by, I do stream every day. I work on 2 different illustrations throughout the week. I do this one 3 times a week and the other one twice. And then on Tuesday and Friday, I play a game instead. So, mostly art for all those interested in art. But I will see you all tomorrow. Go do something cool. It'll be great.